Well, hello, welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Sunday, January 15th, 2012. We are in Luke chapter 11, verse 24. When the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it passes through waterless places seeking rest. And finding none, it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house swept and put in order. Then it goes and brings 7 other spirits, more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. You know, God's in control of demons. And sometimes, believe it or not, God allows demons to influence us. I'm not sure about possession. Back then, for sure, He did, so Jesus could drive them out. But nowadays, He allows them to influence us, to attack us, to put thoughts in our heads. They're to test us. They're there for different reasons, and God allows them, and in some cases even sends them. If you look in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, I believe you'll see an example of where God sent a demon to help Paul, the Apostle Paul, deal with his pride. So He actually sent him one. So the demons are under control of the Lord. Well, suppose you got one that's attacking you big time. And you ask God, and you beg God, and you plead with God to take this demon away. And He does. God says, okay, you bug me enough, I will do it. Remember we learned about bugging God earlier in this chapter. So He takes him away. Well, that demon's got to go somewhere. So he travels around through waterless places. Now, demons don't like water. I don't know why, but they don't like it. There was a time where Jesus cast demons out of a guy, a whole bunch of them, and He threw them into some pigs, and they all rushed into the water and drowned. So maybe Jesus killed them. Maybe water kills demons. I don't know, but they don't like it. So He's traveling around through places with no water, and He says, I can't find anywhere to go. I'm going to go back where I came from. So He goes back, but this time He doesn't just go by Himself. This time He takes 7 of His buddies that are worse than him. Now, the main point of this lesson, and this is where I see things a little different than most people. Alright, I'll go ahead and tell you if you hear this lesson anywhere else here, most likely you're going to hear the main point is that the guy swept his house and got it in order. In other words, you get rid of all the bad things, you didn't fill it up with good things. If you filled it up with good things, the demons wouldn't come back. It doesn't say anything like that, so I don't come to that conclusion. All right, but 99 times out of 100, that's what you're going to hear taught. So I'll just throw it out there. If you want to go with that, that's fine. But if you come for a little bit different angle, here's mine. 1 is better than 8. Okay, 1 is better than 8. It's better to have 1 demon coming at you than 8. So, what's the point? If you got 1, you might not want to get rid of him. I know that sounds crazy. Why wouldn't you want to get rid of a demon? Well, sometimes demons do more good than harm. Alright? Almost all of us has some demonic activity that's keeping us humble. And what I mean by that, there is something going on. Either it's a physical thing that a demon has caused, and we don't really know all of them, because it's hard to tell whether a demon caused it or whether it's just our bodies responding to the fact that we are old and sinful, and we inherited Adam's curse, and our bodies are going to fall apart anyway. But some of them are directly demonic, and some of these could include things like vision loss and hearing loss, and the inability to speak, or paralysis, or epilepsy, or mental disorders, things like that. Very likely could be caused by demons. I'm not saying for sure they are. So you may have one doing that. And because of that physical ailment, you're constantly going to God. You're constantly in communion with your Father, trying to get relief from that. Well, that's a case where the demon's actually doing you some good. Because if that wasn't there, you wouldn't be going to God near as much. The other way a demon can influence us is with a recurring temptation to sin. Now, God does not tempt us to sin. But God could allow a demon to tempt us to sin to show us how weak we are. So we will constantly be going to Him. If you look at Jesus in the wilderness, okay, God did not tempt Jesus, but the devil certainly did, and God allowed it. And what it did, it forced Jesus to go to the Father. So if you got a demon, you might not want to be begging God to get rid of him. You know, Paul did that with the demon he had. He pleaded with God 3 times, and I believe that means 3 different seasons of prayer to take it away. And God said, no, 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 no. You got that demon for a purpose, and he's accomplishing my purpose. And he says, my grace is sufficient for you. So whatever that demon was doing to Paul was causing him to have to use God's grace. So I'm thinking 1 demon better than 8. And you can hear I got a message on my phone, so I'm going to get going here. And we've gone over time anyway. But that's it. So embrace, well, that's kind of a strong word. I wouldn't necessarily say embrace your demon, but maybe thank God for your demon, because He causes you to have to keep going to Him. And don't be in such a hurry to get rid of them. You're not going to hear that take on this anywhere else but here. Curious about your thoughts on it? Come back tomorrow for the next edition of Take 5.